my chocolate milk!
Hey, it's Larry here, Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and you are listening to the Party Chat Podcast. Yeah.
Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to the Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. I am your host this week, Rhys, aka Delicious Cheese, saying the intro for the very first time. Very excited. And with me today is everyone's favorite uncle, Uncle Jesse. Say hello.
What's going on, guys?
And some other guy. That's our very, very own Mikey J. Redmond. We love you, Mikey. I'm sorry.
That's okay, thanks. Glad to be on.
Yes, indeed.
So, Ross is off, like, having a life or something. Can you guys believe that crap? So here I am, filling in for him, and I guess we should do what we normally do and talk about what games we've been playing this week.
Yeah.
Clay?
Well, hello, and welcome to the Party Chat Podcast.
we have to sort of just go as...
Oh, there we go.
Keep the mood going, you know.
I've been playing a lot of Gears of War.
That's a horrible impersonation of Ross. I apologize, brother.
We love you, Ross.
This is what happens when the boys are left to play.
Exactly. Should also mention before we get started, we have a very, very special guest on today's show. We've got a great interview with Major Nelson talking all about E3 and Scorpio and the new Slim. So very excited to be bringing you guys that interview later on in the show. For me, should be no surprise, I'm probably worse than Ross. I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege.
God damn it, Clay.
You know what's so funny is I've just heard rumors that there's going to be another crazy summer sale coming up soon, and my backlog is getting ridiculously long, and yet I'm still playing this game that I've already put in so many hours on.
Don't go down.
I know. It's like, can I just play something else? Let me finish Quantum Break. I still didn't even finish that game.
Really?
Yeah,
that's good.
I know, it's really good. It just sucks me back in. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to play one match. All right, 2 matches. All right, maybe 5 matches.
What about you, Mikey?
Well, inside, but I'll probably read that love letter when we get to the game later.
Awesome.
Besides that, I've been playing some PGA Tour and the Technomancer.
Oh, tell us about the Technomancer.
Yeah, dude, that came out already?
Yeah, it came out Tuesday, and actually I was able to get my hands on it for the last couple weeks because I was lucky enough to review the game.
Oh,
yes.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It's probably about as polished as Clay's video editing skills.
That's I don't know what that is. That might have been a bit of a low blow.
And the voice acting it probably feels closer to a parody at times than something serious. But have you guys ever played Mars Warlogs or Bound by Flame?
Bound by Flame, yes.
No.
Okay, so you know it's a little bit unpolished, but Spiders, the dev, the games they create, they have a certain charm to them.
Okay. Yeah.
And I ended up giving the game a 7.5, but after I was done reviewing it, I've gone back to play it again, which
Nice.
When I reviewed a game for 20 to 30 hours, I tend to start to hate the game and pull away. This one I actually went back to.
Nice.
That's really good to hear.
It's a solid game.
Can you
those guys they sort of make what I would call a double A game instead of a triple A. Like it's somewhere in between, like an indie game and a triple A. It's not quite either one, but yeah. As for me,
oh wait, hold on.
Playing...
Before you jump into that, I was gonna say, Mikey, can you just for anybody that's not familiar with the game, can you tell them? I mean, what's the basis? What type of gameplay is it? What's it about? Just real quick.
Oh yeah, do that.
Your name is Zachariah. What was it? Zachariah Technomancer or Mancer? It's something to do with your class name. So
okay,
it's not super creative. but you follow this like church of the technomancy, and you have these super electrical powers, and you go around questing. It's similar to I hate to bring up Mars Warlogs. It's actually it's a unofficial sequel to that game. It happens at the same time. It's got quests. It's got
So we're talking Mass Effect style here?
with slightly better combat. Yes,
Okay.
I think the combat in this game is better than Mass Effect. I think Mass Effect's combat. Well, okay, Mass Effect Combat 3 was actually for the third one was actually pretty decent, but yeah, I'm gonna just stutter because I just woke up. I'm mumbling, ranting. The game's great. If you like RPG games, and you need something that tied you off after winter, go buy it.
There you go.
Okay, that's
There you go.
the best way. Now I'm gonna go back because it's me.
Right.
Fill it in for Ross this week. I've been playing some Doom. That joke's not going to get old, by the way. We're going to do accents all episode. And yeah, so I've been playing Doom, and I managed to finally finish it. It's good. Go play Doom. If you haven't played Doom already, you're silly, and you should be playing Doom. And I've also been playing, same as last week, some Battleborn.
Nice. Some couch
with
co-op.
with my girlfriend in couch co-op mode. Yeah, it's great. It's just fun. Like, split screen is great. It's good fun.
Well,
Excellent.
according to the subreddit, you shouldn't be able to find any matches.
Well, I don't. When you're sitting right next to somebody, it's kind of difficult not to find a match.
Oh, you're playing bots. Okay.
Yeah, no. It has a campaign. Like,
You see, this is how bad the marketing was. I had no idea.
yeah, the campaign, actually, for anyone who's listening and is unfamiliar with the game, like Mikey, for example, yeah, it has a campaign mode. It has 9 missions, and it's a raid simulator. So if you like raiding in Destiny, for example, because Destiny is probably the closest comparison to Battleborn's style of gameplay, sort of like Destiny meets Smite, I guess you could call it. But anyway, if anyone likes raiding in Destiny, this entire game is just that. You fight through waves of enemies, get to a boss where there's some sort of specific mechanic, and you fight the boss, and then you move on to another area, and that might have some other mechanic, like defend positions or run around hitting switches, and yeah, you just do that for 9 different missions, and they take about 1.5 hours each, depending on how good you are, and there's
Wow.
multiple difficulty levels, and it's really fun if you like to raid.
Very cool.
How's the humor? Is it on par with Borderlands? Worse? Better?
Hit and miss. I mean, it's Gearbox, so there's
Right.
there's some that's good, and like some that'll make you absolutely cack your pants, and others that are a bit juvenile perhaps, but it doesn't have any memes. So if memes really annoyed you in Borderlands 2, then you're good to go with Battleborn. But let's move along because the clock is ticking.
Yes.
Clay, talk to us about the subreddit.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. This week in the subreddit.
Yeah, so this week they they released Inside, and everyone is head over heels in love with this game, giving it a 10 out of 10 over on IGN. Phil Spencer stating that's probably his game of the year so far. User 131King posted the discussion about the review from IGN and just sort of all the love and praise for the game, and wanted to know, are you guys playing it? Mikey, I know you are, and wanted to get your guys' impressions of it. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'll just jump in first and say I'm not playing it, so I'm just going to hand it
here.
straight over to Mikey.
Let's hear it, Mikey.
I should probably get it out of the way. Q, I just finished Inside jokes. I've seen that repeated more often than anything else that's subreddit right now.
Inside.
Yeah, I've seen that. Oh, it's just like, oh, hey, look at that, creative. All right, so there you go. There's your mention. Well, Inside is this game that's like set in this. You've all seen the trailers. This wonderful, awful dystopian future that, and when you're playing it, it like constantly challenges and replaces what you believe like is actually in this world. And it's kind of sombering. Its take on the human element. It's makes you feel bad.
Oh, really?
Basically.
Excellent.
It makes you feel.
If you play Soma, the game, it's on PS4 and PC. That game really makes you feel like a horrible, horrible human being for playing the game. So I'm guessing it might
I
be like
shouldn't
that.
say it makes you feel horrible.
Okay.
It doesn't make your character look horrible. It
Mhm.
makes humanity as a race kind of look pretty terrible. I mean, there's like a critical game or critical moment in the game where I
Spoilers?
believe pretty much everyone will go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't spoil it for
What
anybody.
the is that?
But
Okay, so but can you tell us, is it worth the money?
right,
$20
it's 20.
for
It's 20
3 to
bucks.
5 hour games.
Right, and it's a pretty short game. Is it worth it?
I'm surprised it was released for 20, even though it's only 3.5 hour game. It is it's a masterpiece. It's really that good.
Mikey,
I
are
don't
you
usually
crying?
call games by that.
Are you crying, Mikey? No.
No, taking a breath. Taking in the moment.
Mikey J.
Not
Raymond
knocked Limbo
cries
by any
over this
means,
game.
but I believe Inside's better. That's just to say how good Inside is, and something super hereticish. Is that a word? Hereticish?
Heretical.
Heretical.
The Finn is correcting your English.
Heretical. I also think that Inside is slightly, and I'm saying slightly, better than Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, hell no.
Wow.
I know that's your Mona Lisa Rhys, or Rhys. Oh my God, it's called you Rhys.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I'll forgive you. That was a good review, Mikey, but could you do it again for us with a Scottish accent?
And throw in some Marcus
Mike.
Phoenix in there.
Oh, you know what? Let's just move on. We're terrible podcast.
I'm never going to be able to do Scottish accents, so I'm pretty sure my thing was British there for a moment. So
That's all right. But I mean, Rhys, are you considering picking this up?
Absolutely.
I am as well.
I am, as Ross might say, skint at the moment. I don't have much money, but as soon as I have enough money for it, I will definitely pick it up.
Well, you know what? Someone on the subreddit even called it out. They were like, Microsoft should be doing a little bit better job advertising this game, and maybe they will now because it's getting such high reviews. I had no idea that it was being released this week. I had no idea it was out until I saw all of a sudden reviews pouring in on it.
It's like a highest rated exclusive, right?
It might be.
here's kind of a take on that. Rhys can back me up on it. We sent them an AMA request, and we got back that they weren't doing industry interviews. They were going to let the game speak for themselves. So if they weren't going out there themselves, that kind of also hurts them a little bit in terms of exposure. But at this point, I think they knew that the game would spread by word of mouth. Silence.
Clay, hello.
Are you alive?
He's over there.
So-
She's over there weeping.
I am.
Playing inside.
It's such a beautiful game. It's such a beautiful game. I'm purchasing it right now. Oh, I'm looking
You know
forward
what's
to
not
playing
beautiful, Clay?
it. Though. What's that?
Our next topic.
Oh, yes. So the next topic that we wanted to chat with you guys about and let you know, if you haven't heard the news already, user Welldot
Yeah.
posted the announcement that Microsoft is shutting down Xbox Fitness. Very sad. So for anybody that wasn't aware, and you might not be aware if you've just purchased an Xbox One within probably the last year or so and don't own an Xbox Connect, one of the big features that was originally announced when the Xbox One rolled out was a free fitness program that you could use along with your Xbox Connect. It's still up and running as of today. You can still actively go in there and play the workouts. You actually don't even need a Kinect anymore to use them. But obviously using a Kinect, it will track all of your fitness activities and allow you to compete with each other and all that fun stuff. But regardless, they are actually shutting it down. And as of, I believe it was June 27th, you're no longer able to purchase particular workouts. There was workouts that you could pay for, like P90X. So you will be able to continue using the service, but it will be completely discontinued by June of 2017, which is very unfortunate. And then the free service, I believe it said it was discontinuing at the end of the year. I wanted to get your guys' feedback on what was your feedback on this? Did you guys use Xbox Fitness? Did you like it? Did you think it was a dumb idea? What did you guys think?
Well, I know that you're pretty upset because your original Reddit name was actually Xbox Fitness Test.
It was.
It
was.
But I've used it a little bit, but I'm a lazy piece of crap, and ain't nobody got time for that. But I have used it a few times. But actually, my girlfriend is a very, very, very avid user of it. She has like nearly all the achievements, and she uses it like quite frequently, especially like the Mosa combat workouts and
those
the
are
yoga
great.
stuff like that. So she's not very happy, obviously. But I think it's awful, isn't it? No one likes when a game or something like that just gets switched off, especially if you've paid for something on it. But I mean, it wasn't heavily advertised, and I guess the licenses for the workouts are kind of expensive. And if no one is using it, then I can understand why Microsoft would cut their losses. But I mean, it sucks, doesn't it?
It does.
I was about to say, one of the comments in the thread that was announcing it's being closed. This is a thing?
Yeah.
The guy and he wasn't being funny. He legitimately did not know about Xbox Fitness, and I think that's the problem. Do you guys remember any advertisements for this in the last year and a half?
No, only at the beginning, like before as the Xbox was just coming out, they were really pushing the Kinect, and this was one of the things. By the way, I'll just jump in and say that if any of you actually own a Kinect and enjoy workouts, there is a game you can buy by Ubisoft called Shape Up, and that is a fitness game, and it's not as professional as Xbox Fitness. It is more like a game, but I mean it's better than nothing, right?
I was just gonna say my opinion on the thing was that I loved the program back when I used it, and I only stopped my fitness routine with it once I went out and bought the next game, weightlifting. I bought a gym membership, and my cardio got replaced by doing sprints and some other stuff. So I never really came back to it, and it's just it really sucks to see it go because it got me, and I think it could have done this for a lot of people. Just had they got the word out, it got me kickstarted on my binge a few years back for fitness.
It's a great. I thought it was a great program. It was free. There was probably 20 plus workouts that were free, ranging from very beginner to more advanced. Those Mosa fitness videos were amazing. They really got you going, sweating, and sore. I was surprised at how well some of these workouts routines were, even without you needing to own weights or anything like that or any equipment. It was just really some serious cardio that was involved with them. I mean, it really sucks. I mean, if you go back on my YouTube channel and go back to the original videos that I was doing, it was all Xbox Fitness related. And again, I mean, I love the service. It has trailed off for me personally within the last year or so, even more than that. But I purchased and own some of those things like P90X, and I'm still wondering, am I going to get refunds on those now? I'm assuming not.
I think some people on the sub were saying that they were successful.
Oh, really?
So your mileage may vary.
Oh, interesting.
But you know what? Let's move on from this negativity and let's move to something absolutely amazing, and that is this week's interview with Major Nelson.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We have with us today a very, very special guest. We have Xbox-owned Major Nelson. Say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody. I guess that's the way that works, right? How you guys doing? I'm so glad to be back on the show. I love coming on. I was just looking at my calendar and I realized I was last on in April, and so much has happened.
Yes,
right.
I chatted.
You are our first return guest, and we've been doing our best to have as many cool people on as we can. We had Rare just recently, and
Who did you have on from Rare? I saw that. Did you have Craig on?
We had Emma and
It was Emma, and I'm stumbling on the name here.
That's okay. So yeah, Craig is the head of Rare. I thought maybe you guys.
It wasn't Craig. It was their Sea of Thieves community manager.
Oh, aren't they doing it? And that game got a lot of positive buzz at E3 this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. So speaking of E3, Major, tell us all about it. You're in the thick of things, so how was it? Was it good? How did it compare to previous E3s for you?
I thought it felt great. I mean, it's you and I. Anybody who listens to my podcast, your podcast, knows that we start planning these things when snow's on the ground, at least in North America. Back around December. So we're 6+ months before, and we certainly don't know what we're going to announce. We're like, okay, we know we're going to do it on this date. Okay, now that we got that, what are we going to do? Okay, let's work on this. And then we start. It's kind of like if you ever seen anybody put a talk show together. We have index cards like on the wall, and we start, in terms of for our briefing alone, we have, written on it our code names, and we start sliding them around and start putting them in places, and then we start the show starts forming over the weeks and months leading up to the actual date in June.
That's amazing. Okay. That's amazing.
It sounds like a good way for us to plan the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If taking notes here.
That's right. That's right.
I highly recommend it.
So Major, what were some games that you were excited to see finally kicked off or announced at this year's show?
Well, I'll tell you, it was always fun to see. I spent some time over at EA on Sunday. I did an event with EA where I got to play Battlefield, Battlefield 1. And then I got to play some Titanfall 2, which was great. So that was just, those are a ton of fun. But I mean, it's every year you go in and you're just, there's too many games. And to be the dark and dirty secret of what we do is, especially for me, I'm there, I've got to do a live show. This year we did 2 live shows and help with the briefing. I just don't have time to go walk around the show floor. That's the God's honest truth. I mean, the show opens on Tuesday, goes through Thursday. Show opens at noon on Tuesday. By 11 o'clock, so an hour before the show opens, I'm already at our daily show stage rehearsing, and I can't leave until 5:30, and the show floor closes at 6. Oh. So right there, the first day's gone. Right. The second day, the show floor opens at about, I think it's 9 a.m. So I can go in and get a couple hours before, but I have to be at the studio or at our stage at like 11 o'clock to start read-throughs and wardrobe and all the rest of that stuff again. And it goes till 5 o'clock. So I get maybe like an hour here, an hour there. So I just unfortunately don't have the time to lazily wander around the show floor like I would love to do.
That sucks. Do you at least get the Major Nelson like a line cutting pass or what?
Well, I don't like to do that because there's so many people that are standing there and they've been waiting 10 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours, and upwards of beyond that. So I really don't want to do that. What I tell a lot of the developers is like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Just let me know when I can come see the build, and I'll come to their studio, whether it's in Seattle or Vancouver or San Francisco or LA or wherever they're located. If I can make a trip out there and get some time on it and spend some time with the teams, and I'd rather do that.
That makes sense. Did you get to see any indies or no?
I did not. Again, it's embarrassing because of the time constraints I have. But there's a lot of indies that I played. Usually, with the indies, I tend to wait for like PAX to do that. Yeah, because PAX seems to be a little bit better. A little bit better for the indie scene for me. But there's definitely some there, and we had some great ones in our booth, and it was so anyway, there you go.
so Major, one of the major announcements, no pun intended there, was the new console, the Xbox One S.
So I'm actually going to swing my microphone around and show it. Oh, it doesn't work that way, does it? Yeah, it's sitting right on my desk. In fact, let me turn it on. It's sitting right here at my desk in my home office. I've been testing it out for 6 or 7 months.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear.
So long.
Yeah, well, it's that's what you do with hardware betas, and it's a wonderful little device, and the team did a really nice job. I mean, I know you guys, if you haven't, I've done an unboxing of it. I did it on Jeff Keighley's show. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that.
I did not.
I did, and it's small. It is so small, Major.
40% smaller. Now, Clayton, did you notice? So what it was a pretty subtle thing, but what I wanted to do was I got the box. And that was actually the first time I've seen the box, the actual physical packaging. We call it in the business, we call it FPP for full package product. So it's the first time I got a chance to see FPP, and they're like, okay, do you want to open it up beforehand? And I said, absolutely not. I said, just tell me what's in there and I'll bring it out. So it was sealed up, like, because it had come from the factory. And I told when I was getting ready to go on, I told the crew, I'm like, I need a knife because I want to cut it open, cut the plastic open and open it up. And apparently there's an animated GIF around of me like wielding this knife, making me look like a
all right.
Man. But anyway,
I will be on the hunt to find that.
it's a few places, so take a look for that. But yeah, the Xbox One S is great. It's like we said, 40% smaller internal power supply.
Right.
It's robot white. That's a little trivia for you. Robot white is the actual official color, and it's sitting right, like I say, it's sitting right here on my desk.
Beautiful.
I have a really important question that everyone on the subreddit wants to know, and that is, does it have a cool new boot up sound?
No. It's got the same little kind of chime that when you turn on the Xbox, the regular Xbox One. So it doesn't have that. But what it does have, and a lot of people, you can't tell this from the photos, but I went over this in my unboxing. Is it does have a physical switch, so that the glowing Xbox orb on the front, that's actually a physical switch. It's not a capacitive one like we have on the Xbox One.
So no more complaining about on the subreddit from people whose dogs are activated.
My cat, my dog, my kid, my butt, whatever it is. It doesn't have to pick it. So yeah, so you push it in and it plays the chime and up it boots. So there you go.
So like, moving on to the other huge bombs that you guys dropped at E3, you dropped Play Anywhere, background music, clubs, LFG, and of course the big mother, the Scorpio. Like, wow, what was it like to be able to just unleash so many awesome aspects, like all at once, just get it all out in the open, air the laundry? How was that?
Well, it's always great, but to be honest with you, there's still a lot of things we haven't talked about. Right.
Really?
So whenever you ask me questions like that, I'm like, I have to go through my mind into my. I have this encrypted part of my mind which has all the cool secrets, and I have to go to the other part and go, okay, we announced that. And it's even tough to talk about now because it's been under wraps for so long. So it's really I'm really excited about it. But it was we had a lot of news, and certainly there's a lot of other stuff that we'll be talking about in the coming months as we get close to later this year and the holiday, and of course next year. So we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Exciting.
So you had mentioned, or Rhys had mentioned there about the new fan club. So are you going to be rushing in there to create the Major Nelson fan club?
I think I will. It's one of those things I worry about creating it because sometimes I just don't have time to maintain it. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'll just be a guest of the Reddit one.
There we go.
If you'll have me, of course.
Of the rivalry between the Xbox One group and the Major Nelson group that were battling each other for the top spot on Forza Horizon 2 for months.
Right. Remember that?
I remember that. Never forget.
We'll have to start it with Forza Horizon 3 since we have a new Forza Horizon, right?
I think so. So, what about the other guys on the show? What did you like from Sony? And did you see Zelda? How awesome does Zelda look, right?
I mean, it looks great. I certainly, Nintendo certainly had a great moment with Zelda. I did watch Sony's briefing, and their booth is right next to ours. Like, every time I'm broadcasting, I can look over my right shoulder and kind of peer around. I can see their booth. It's tough to see from where I am. But I did watch their briefing. They had a great show. I mean, I congratulated them on Twitter. Everybody kind of had a great show, right?
Yeah, it was a good E3. I liked it a lot.
It was a little different because we announced not one, but two consoles,
right?
Essentially. And we had some other hardware news as well with the custom, the new custom controller, the Xbox Design Lab, which I have the one that I designed right here on my hands. I actually designed one for my wife. I put it on Instagram, and I have that one in here.
So I was going to ask you, Major, specifically about that. So is that a Syracuse-themed design controller?
It's absolutely. You saw the orange, saw the blue, and I'm very proud. As a graduate of Syracuse University, I am a proud Orangeman, and I am absolutely, that's what it is.
I was going, that looks vaguely familiar.
So yeah, I wanted to go up with that, and there's about 8 million combinations that if you go through the design lab that you can 8 million combinations of controller colors and whatnot that you can create.
And I also noticed over on Twitter that you were testing out the Bluetooth functionality.
Yeah, so that's something really important to point out is that the Xbox One S comes with a controller, which is kind of an evolution of the Xbox One controller. It's just we kind of tweak it here and there. And this particular one, and then also the custom ones that you'll order, have a Bluetooth radio in them. In addition to the Xbox One, and so there's been some confusion about why are there two, and it's very simple. The Xbox One controller frequency that we use is really, really highly energy efficient, highly tuned, has high bandwidth for voice, so that you can do wireless voice and so forth when you plug your headset in. So it's our custom frequency and our custom protocol that we use, so that you get low latency and high quality experience. Whereas Bluetooth, a lot of folks have Bluetooth PCs or other devices they want to connect the controller to. So we decided to include that and offer that option as well.
Awesome. So, Major, speaking of Twitter and seeing you posting on Twitter, and you're always over there, and you're about to hit 1 million followers, I was wondering, how the heck do you manage that account and the notifications and messages? Yep. You must get berated with messages constantly. Just
constantly.
wondering.
That's a great question, Clay. So I want to be very clear. I manage my entire account myself. I don't have anybody posting for me. I would never in a million years do that, because that's not my style. What I do is I have a bunch of different tools that I look at that I can use and see what the trends are, and then I'll go through and reply to people when I can. It does help that I'm verified. As a verified Twitter user, when I open up the Twitter client, I actually have a separate tab that tells me other verified people that have mentioned me.
Oh, that's very
so
cool.
I can actually quickly go in there and see if there's anybody else that mentioned me that's verified. Then I can kind of look and see what they're chatting about.
Nice.
But yeah, it can take. I mean, look, it's like it's as much time as you want to give it is as much time as take. I mean, I like to provide news and information and have a little bit of fun on Twitter. So that's always been as one of the first people that was on Twitter. I thoroughly enjoy that platform.
I'm just amazed that I'll get up. I'm on the East Coast. I'll get up in the morning, and then I'll see a tweet from you, no joke, maybe an hour or two after I'm awake. I'm going, what time is it on the West Coast right now?
Yeah, well, that's, as you know, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from New England, and I always have been I will always consider myself an East Coaster. So I get up at 5:30 in the morning, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, because I know that a majority of my viewers and Twitter followers are awake, whether they're in Europe or whether they're on the East Coast. So I want to be part of that conversation.
Nice.
So, how was FanFest this year? Did you guys get up to anything good? Tell us all about that.
We had an amazing FanFest. It's a great opportunity for the fans that are coming to E3 to really get a part of it in a way that we do it. We had 500 or 600 people come to our 500 or 600 fans come to our briefing. If you go watch the briefing again, we put them all down on the show floor. We gave them all FanFest T-shirts. We got them access to the actual expo, which is great. We did a great fan event Tuesday night where we showed them some gameplay from Forza, from Gears of War. We had the Gears of War cast there. I gave away a bunch of controllers. Everybody in there got a custom controller. So it was a phenomenal evening for fans. It was just a lot of fun.
That sounds really cool. We had a couple of guys on the subreddit posting pictures from the FanFest. They were members. Hi guys. So yeah, that's
it's great because wherever I go, there's people that follow me on Twitter or like, is that really you on Reddit? I'm like, yeah, it's me. I don't know who they think it is. It's me though.
We could ask the same question. Is that really Major Nelson? Yes.
No, it's weird. I mean, but anyway, yeah. So it's great that we had some Redditors there as well. Although they didn't come up to me this year.
Really?
And I know other folks did at on the show floor at E3, but I didn't have anybody in there. But I was really moving, and I mean, my days are just ridiculously busy. It's like I'm just starting to recover now a week later.
Nice. So, Major, before we let you go, I just want to let our viewers know that we are doing this recording right now on Sunday evening. Major Nelson was gracious enough to share some of his personal weekend time with us, and it is right before the Game of Thrones Season 6 finale. So without getting into any spoilers, I wanted to ask you, who's your favorite character on the show?
Ooh, well, so
dead or alive? Doesn't have to go into details.
How deep do you want to go into this?
That's such a Game of Thrones response, isn't it? Dead or alive?
Or questionable.
It's. I'll tell you. It's. God, you guys. It's so different. I mean, I love them all because all of the storylines are so different. I love Brienne of Tarth. I think she's extraordinary.
It's a great.
The actress is unbelievable. Gwendolyn is phenomenal. So I really I love him to death. I love her to death. There's so many. There's just the actors and actresses in here are so good. One of my favorite though is Braun.
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Braun.
I
don't know
Braun and
why.
Jamie comedy duo.
Yes.
Gallivant.
Yeah, he's got the funniest
So
guy.
good.
And I just think he's hysterical. Some of the stuff that he says what I feel. So I really, really enjoy him. So I mean I really do. I like them all. You know, we've got the Mountain coming back. Hopefully it's not a spoiler. But we've got a lot of folks. But I'm probably gonna say Braun. If I had to go with somebody, I'd say Braun.
All right, that's a great
Nice.
one.
That's a good answer.
Excellent.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna apologize again that Ross couldn't be here for the interview.
So I want to talk. Can I just address Ross right now?
Actually, well, see, Ross has formally requested. The reason I'm actually mentioning this is he's formally requested that you adopt him, and he is terribly sorry for having a job and responsibilities and stuff. But
So
please
I'm just going to
address him.
I'm going to say this, Ross. This is now my second time in 3 months to come on the show. I'm starting to believe, as many people believe that I'm not the one who's posting on my Twitter on Reddit. I don't think it's you. I don't know who it is. Is it your cat? It could be. Is it your dog? I don't know. But I don't know why you're avoiding me and why you just can't, come in here. We'd have some fun. I'm a nice guy, really. Anyway, hopefully we'll get to chat sometime soon.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't wait to harvest the tears that you've set in motion.
Are you? Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, go
Absolutely.
What was the highlight for you guys at E3? I mean, you certainly from people that weren't inside in terms of you didn't know what was coming. How did it play for you guys?
You mean like our favorite game, or like what was the biggest?
How did we do on behalf of Xbox? I don't want to talk about the other guys because that's not what this is about. How did we do?
I thought you guys did a fantastic job. Me and the other moderators were in a group chat, watching it away. In fact, I was also in the IRC with the people from Reddit, and everyone was crap in their pants when you announced the Scorpio. That was pretty epic, and except for the fact that Phil did not change shirts this year, which was just absolutely outrageous. Everything else was fantastic.
There wasn't enough T-shirt changes.
Yeah, absolutely. The T-shirt game was just
he opened the show. And then he closed the show. So he only really was on stage very limited. And that's always been the way he wants to be, because he's like, hey, he wants to let the people that work on the products really take shine. And so he wanted to do that. And he wanted to make sure the focus wasn't on the T-shirts, but in this case it was on the Xbox One S.
That's right.
And then later on in Scorpio. Yeah, so the Scorpio video, here's a little something I've never talked about that I'll give you guys a little exclusive.
Ooh.
I actually was in the Scorpio video, but there was a lot of people they shot in the Scorpio video, but they cut me out because they needed it shorter.
Ah,
so yeah,
too long-winded, huh?
Yeah, I gave them some good stuff, but they they're like, no. And I work in the media industry, so I'm like, whatever. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't think that doesn't no reflection on me. It's all about as long as the edit looks good. But there you go.
What about you, Clay?
Overall, I thought you guys did an absolutely amazing job. I'm just upset that I couldn't be there in person. I was going to be there this year on the floor, checking it out in person, but unfortunately, similar to Ross, I had some work commitments that got into the way. But overall, I loved the show. Cannot wait to get my hands on Dead Rising 4.
Frank West. So did you like the way we made it snow? I don't know if it came across on the air, but we made it snow.
Yeah.
Frank West, and he has a Windows phone. Nice one.
So did you see the live actor we have for Frank West?
No.
The what?
Yeah, we on the Daily Show, we actually had an actor that was playing Frank West, and he looks exactly like him.
Ooh, that's
we had him on the show floor in the Dead Rising for it, and it's funny his credentials that he hung around his neck, his E3 credentials said Frank West. It was kind of awesome.
Did it mention that he'd covered wars?
It did not, but it was a lot of fun there. So yeah, I'm glad. Game of Thrones. I'm getting excited about that. Dead Rising 4 is looking really good. I mean, all the craziness that you can expect with all the previous ones, and much more.
Exactly.
Yeah, I share your pain, Clay. I also couldn't make it to E3 because I'm, on the other side of the planet. But I'm definitely looking forward to Gamescom.
Are you going to Gamescom?
Absolutely.
Well, we should. I have to check my schedule. I believe I'm going to be going, and if it is, we should definitely connect. I'd love to show you around the Xbox booth, and I don't know what we have planned, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty epic.
At the very least, there needs to be a round of wicked high fives.
Yeah, why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be? So yeah, I want to thank you guys for all your support and your kind words on the show, and more importantly, all the great work that you and everybody in Reddit does. The moderators, but also the fans. I mean, that I'm over there. I try to stop in there like once a day, and try to dispel any rumors as best I can, and put a stop to misinformation. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but the internet is full of misinformation.
I had noticed,
Skate
and also
3.
questions about Black Ops.
I was going to say Black Ops, Skate 3, Red Dead, you name it.
The whole list, right? And then for some reason, people don't want to read the FAQ, and I keep posting the FAQ. I'm like, it's in the fact. It's in the fact. What? It's the mega ultra fact. It's just all one big thing. I gave you a sortable list. What more do you want? Okay, that's the best I can do right now, folks.
At least the blood of a dozen virgins. But Major,
Right?
the time of the great season finale is upon us. So
It is.
we're just going to end this interview right now before anyone starts getting antsy. Thank you so much for joining us a second time, and I cannot wait to drag you back on here a third time at some point in the future, and maybe, just maybe, Ross will join us that time. What do you think, Clay?
I look forward to that. I want to thank you guys. You do great work over there. I always love listening to the show, and thanks again for having me on.
All right, thanks very much. See you later, Major.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Wow, what a great interview. It's always a pleasure to have Larry on board. He is such a funny guy, isn't he? Ross, you're Clay. Isn't he, Clay?
Yes, indeed. He is such a great guest, and we really are appreciative of him giving us some of his time to come back on the show and talk to us about E3.
Yeah.
Yes, and I also thought the interview was great with him as well.
Yes, I bet you did.
Spoiler alert for everyone who just listened to it. I wasn't there.
And neither was Ross. That joke's not old yet.
Let's continue on with some more topics before we let you guys go for the day. I think one of the other big announcements that was just made earlier in the week was the Games with Gold for July 2016, and we have user Gawangi77. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce that name.
Gawangi.
Gawangi.
Guanji?
Yeah. Announced that posted Major Nelson's announcement for the Games of Gold for July, which include Banner Saga 2 that will be available through the entire month of July, Tumblestone from July 16th through August 15th. On the 360, you have Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I almost said Rainbow Six Siege from the 1st through the 15th.
A Freudian slip.
Exactly. And Tron Evolution from the 16th through the 31st. And just as a reminder, you can play those on backwards compatibility on your Xbox One. Gents, played any of those games? Excited about any of those games?
Well, for the Xbox One games, I've been busy. Like I talked about the Technomancer reviews. I've actually never heard of those. I haven't seen them yet. So I'm going to have to check them out. But the game that I played an absolute crap ton of on the 360 was Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I was actually, for the survival, the sharpshooter mode, the number one player for about 6 months.
Really?
I played the absolute... Yeah, I played 12 hours a day at times of that game.
Nice.
That was
Holy
back
crap.
during when high school, and I had my summers to myself, and I had no friends.
I
But no,
believe
me and
that.
my buddies would always get together, play games, and that was one of them.
But I'm surprised you haven't heard of the Banner Saga, because that was really quite famous. I think it might have began life as a Kickstarter, actually. I'm not sure if it was. Don't quote me on that. Someone on the internet will tell me I'm wrong. They always do. But it was quite famous, and the Banner Saga 2 got really good reviews, if I remember correctly.
I believe
It's like
it
a-
did.
It's sort of like a cross between a choose-your-own-adventure game and also like a tactical turn-based RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Nice.
And you also have to do a bit of resource management like Oregon Trail. It's interesting. in concept, but it should be fun. Everyone should check it out because it's basically a game unlike probably anything you've ever played if you're a console-only gamer. So at least give it a try.
How close to Oregon Trail would you say it is? Because that might sell me on the game.
Well, I mean, I've only played the first one, but what happens is the game is really focused on storytelling, and you play I'm trying to avoid spoilers because the story is really good. You play like a band of like sort of Viking warriors, and your whole clan is like, moving from place to place. And every now and again you stop and fight and whatever else. And, while it's moving, it's very, yeah, exactly. While it's moving, they tell the story. And every now and again, just like in Oregon Trail, and every now and again it will stop and there will be some issue you have to deal with. And there's actually quite a few like branching stories and really cool choices that you can make throughout the game that actually affect who's alive and who's dead.
Very cool. Like 14 rivers?
Yeah, basically. The fjords.
Well, looking it up, it was on Kickstarter, and I do actually remember this. I just never played the first one, but I do remember seeing this around, so I'm going to have to give it a try now that it's free.
It's free. Yeah. What about you, Clay? Have you heard any of these?
I'm not familiar with Banner. I mean, I've heard of Banner Saga. I'm not familiar with the gameplay. Tumblestone, I'm not, but just from watching the video, sort of the Major Nelson's videos, very interested in that, just trying it out.
What is it, a puzzle game?
I believe it was, wasn't it?
I haven't had time to look at the video.
It is called the first original action puzzle game of the past 15 years.
Yeah, it seemed interesting.
Is what they say on their website.
So I'm always up for trying out something different. The Rainbow Six played a lot as well when it was originally back on the 360. Side note, I can remember the first Rainbow Six Vegas, the original. When it came out on the 360, there was a demo that was available only in Japan, I think, or somewhere, and I changed my account setup just so I could download that demo.
You naughty boy!
To access that. It was good. So good.
I was a bit guilty of that for Dark Souls 3, so nice. I feel you.
But I've heard good things about Tron Evolution, though.
Yeah, I have too, actually.
Yeah.
But Clay, enough of this. You went and did something extremely cool over the weekend. Tell us all about it.
So I was lucky enough to get a hands-on demo with the Microsoft HoloLens. I was very
Mikey. This is why we read
cool.
the notes.
What?
Wow.
So I was in New York over at their Microsoft store, which is, again, absolutely beautiful. You guys are ever in Midtown Manhattan, you need to go check that out. It's like 3 or 4 floors of amazing tech, not just all Microsoft stuff. But they were able to squeeze me in for a demo. So it was about 30 to 40 minutes long. It started off with a bit of an orientation, just how to actually put on the augmented reality headset, how to interact with it, how to do the sort of the motion finger click thing, and then they walked me through 3 different rooms for demos. So the first one was really focused around how you can in this space, this room, I could scan the room and then place a toolbox and then flip open the toolbox, and there was spray paint cans and different tools that were available to me to use and different activities or scenes. And so I could place them wherever I wanted in the room, resize them, completely walk around them and like stand above them or get down low and view them. It was so cool. So cool.
The future is now?
Yeah, I was really surprised at how well it worked. I mean, I don't want to make that sound bad, but it's just something that, you watch those videos, especially from E3 a year ago, and it's like, yeah, right, okay. Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, okay, this is all, they've really faked it. I don't think so. I mean, I was basically doing all the stuff that they were showing up on screen, minus the whole Minecraft bit, which would have been really fun to do. And getting to really dig into it. It was really cool. And they showed me the next one was a game that sort of Space Invaders type game that they demoed where it looked like these aliens are bursting through the wall, and then you have to shoot them. So they had a little a little clicker that I could use in my hand that simulated, pressing a button like on a controller. And I just used my eyesight to line up where I wanted to shoot, and I could dodge when they were shooting at you, and or you could slow down time, sort of like a quantum break effect, and I could zoom, like I could look around them. It was really cool. And what was most amazing to me about that game demo was not just how much fun it actually was and how great it looked. I was really surprised at how nice it looked. But was that when you would shoot, you could knock a virtual hole in the wall in the room that you were in, and you could literally like look around in that hole, and it blew my mind how cool it was. And it really reminded me of this little demo that this guy, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, it was probably 6+ years ago. This guy took a Wii and inverted the sensors and put them on his head and built this like augmented tracking system with the Wii, and he was showing these target reticles on screen, and if he moved his head, they sort of moved with his head, and it faked this 3D effect. And that's exactly what they were doing with the HoloLens headset, and it was really cool. It was really cool. And then, sorry,
what was the last demo?
The last demo was basically showing off a product and how this could be used in a retail space or maybe in a manufacturing type arena, where it showed a watch. We were looking at a tabletop, and all of a sudden this watch appeared from the tabletop, and then I could resize it and then say, I can't remember what the command was, but it sort of it made the watch expand out and show me all of its parts in real time, like moving in real time. And I could, again, walk around and really look into how this watch was assembled. And then there was call-outs that I could review, and basically it was giving me more information about different parts. I could really see that for someone that's maybe tinkering with a car engine and you wanted to change your oil and you had no idea how to do that. It would walk you through the process of how to do that. It could be very, very interesting. Again, I was just blown away at how good it looked, and it was real. That was the big thing. I think the big call out that a lot of people have said in the reviews or people have provided feedback on is that the space, the area within the lens is limited. But
I was just about to ask.
I heard
that's
it was
the big question, that the field of view is quite small.
It is. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great. I mean, obviously you'd prefer it to be, completely wrapping around your vision there, around your face. But it wasn't bad. I would like to see it larger, and again, this was the first iteration of it, and I bet you in another year they'll have another version that it's larger. But what also was cool to me was that, unlike the HTC Vive, which I've tried before, which was also pretty cool, just a completely different experience, it wasn't
which is
tethered.
VR, not AR.
Yeah, exactly. VR, not AR. This isn't tethered at all. So you're not wired into anything. It's all
wireless,
right?
Yeah, it's processing in real time. It also has, actually I didn't realize it. I should have. It has speakers built into it, so it can, like when you were playing with the game, you'd hear all the audio effects from the game, and there was an AI that was talking to you throughout the game. So it was pretty damn rad. And might I add, give me one second. Well, might I add, Sarah at the Microsoft Store, thank you so much for helping me get it set up with that. And by the way, I think you guys purposely hired like the most attractive people in New York City to work that demo booth. Girls and guys.
Marketing
I was
101, bro.
like, holy
It was
cow.
a
I was
dream.
Like, yeah, it was like they had some serious model-looking people working these stations. I was going, whoa, this is crazy.
I really like augmented reality. I've mentioned before that I really don't like virtual reality because, I get simulator sickness, and two, I don't like having a bucket on my head blocking out my complete field of vision. Like, I can understand the appeal for immersion, but for me, I don't like it. But augmented reality really seems like something I can get behind, because not only am I not wearing a bucket on my head, but I can actually see around me, which will allow me to, socialize with people in the same space as me, and also I won't get simulation sickness because I won't have a bucket on my head with TV screens.
It's also not very heavy, which is nice.
I'm shocked that it's
pretty light.
wireless.
Yeah, blew me away.
That's like something that is like not mentioned in any of their advertising that I've seen, at least that I can remember.
Even the Oculus and the Vive are just you're almost you got wires everywhere coming out of like your computer and all this other stuff. All I was gonna say was like so it sounds like you like it.
Yes.
That or they're promising you a free one for giving it a good review on here.
So that $3,000 demo kit. no, I am, selfishly for my my real job. I am also very interested in seeing how we can apply that. But it to me, I see there's more potential for the HoloLens, in all honesty, than the VR tech that I've checked out. I mean, VR seems like it would be great for gaming. This seems like it would be great for gaming as well as other possibilities. I mean, this just seems really cool. It's really,
Yeah,
Augmented
one of the things you
reality is
mentioned
like-
was what was it? Working on a car.
Yeah, I mean, if you imagine, like I go to YouTube for everything. Do I need to replace something? All right, I'm going to go on YouTube, watch somebody how they do it, and then go and do it on my car or toilet or whatever it may be. I have a house.
Well, I
so-
just remember a video like sometime back, or not a video, but an article in this game. HoloLens came out, was first revealed, and they were showing a woman. She had a plumber watching what she was, and then the plumber would draw on her screen and make these movements of the things she needed to touch,
That would be very cool.
which way she needed to turn them.
I remember that.
Yeah, and the possibilities with AR, what you're touched on before, VR is great. Don't get me wrong, like you said before, but there's more
Right.
for
Well, I mean,
AR. I think.
What I was going to say is that like AR is basically the ultimate goal of all sci-fi. I mean, eventually AR is going to be able to be just worn on normal sunglasses, like Google Glass, but not crap. And then, after that, maybe they'll be able to get AR on like an what are they called? Like a lens that you put on your eye?
Yeah.
What are they
Just
called?
as long as we don't turn into Wall-E people.
Yeah, well. What are those called? The eye lenses. I'm having a
Are you talking
brain
about
fart.
like a Google Glass type thing?
No, the lenses you put in your contact lenses. Yes.
Oh wow!
I did it all by myself.
Oh my goodness.
I was a clever little boy.
That's right. The other thing I was just remembering that was really, I mean, me selfishly and my own nerdy self, that they showed was in one of the setups I had it was a 3D sign, and they were like, all right, so position this wherever you want in the room. And so I could move it around the room and position it and then click it, and it would stay in position, and then I could move my field of view away, and then when I came back, it was still there. That was pretty cool. But what was really interesting to me is they go, all right, well, look over on that shelf over there. We 3D printed that same sign in the same scale so you can see what it looks like here virtually and physically. And the idea is for anybody that tinkers and is 3D modeling and you're playing around with scale, you can see what it's going to look like in a real space. And for me, I love 3D printing. I was going,
I've
oh my
noticed.
gosh,
I was
I
gonna say,
love
do you?
this.
If your channel's dedicated
I know.
to it, I hope so.
But it was
Well,
great. It was
That
great.
sounds like it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit jealous.
Oh,
I'm very envious.
they wouldn't let me keep it or walk away with it. I tried. I really tried.
You're just saying that now that I called you out on it, but
So, guys, that's all we've got for today. Another awesome episode. We had Major Nelson. We had horrible Scottish accents. We had Mikey on the show again for the first time in a few weeks. Woo, Mikey! Guys, Halo 5. Stop listening to this podcast because Halo 5 is free. It's free until July 5th. close this window and go and play Halo 5 right now. Just go. You have no excuse. It's free. Go. For those of you who have already got Halo 5 and aren't currently playing it, thanks for joining us. And Mikey, you want to do the honors?
Xbox, turn off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Give me my chocolate milk! Hi, it's Larry here of Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and you are... Some older people get that, right?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Can we have that as a blooper on the end there?
I think we've got our episode's blooper.
Let me give it to you clean, okay? Let me give it to you clean. Here you go.
Composure.
3, 2, and... Where's my chocolate milk? Hey, it's Larry here of Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and you are listening to the Party Chat Podcast. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. And Mikey, you want to do the honors?
Xbox, turn off.
No. You got to talk to Cortana now.
Oh, what? Oh, that's right.
You got to ask nicely.
Hey, Cortana. Yes, Mike. Turn off.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Someone stop this before we get in trouble.
All right. That's good. That's a wrap, gentlemen.